Hi, my name is Claudia, and today I'm going to be talking about digital networking, how to make yourself visible while working from home. And everything that I'm going to discuss today is going to be, whether you're looking for jobs outside of your company or if you're looking for jobs internally. Both strategies can be used with what I'm about to show you today. So a little bit about me. I am a career coach and CEO of Claudia T. Miller, and I'm a nationally recognized expert and sought after career coach. And I've been named one of the top 23 most innovative career coaches by Business Insider globally. And I've helped a lot of career driven professionals get the jobs they want at salaries they love. And I've even helped clients get jobs within 90 days or less, and even helped them get up to $100,000 in salary increases, all during COVID. And I've worked with, from various types of professionals, whether they're college graduates, if they're mid-career, all the way to the executive suite. So I've worked with CEOs, SVPs, CMOs, CIOs, CTOs, and I worked around across various industries, primarily in the technology space. And it could be fintech, whether it's in SaaS companies, even fast-growing companies for like Google, Facebook, and Amazon. I've helped a lot of clients get interviews at these top, very competitive jobs. And, I'm also creator and host of Roadmap to the Executive Suite, where I talk about how women can get advanced in their careers and how they can keep accelerating it, whether they're at the beginning of the stage of the career, in the mid of it, or all the way they're looking to make that jump into the executive suite overall. So let's get started. So what to expect from this presentation? One of the things I would say is how to brand yourself on LinkedIn to land you the jobs you want. So this could be either a promotion, if you want to pivot into a new department, if you want to get promoted internally, or if you're looking elsewhere outside of your company itself, or maybe you're looking at both strategies. LinkedIn is a vital tool to use when networking, and especially when you're job searching or looking to get, noticed and promoted. And also how to network effectively, even if you're not good at networking or you just don't have a network. A lot of clients that I work with don't always have a network, or they're looking to change careers or industries. So it's important for them to build a network from scratch, and you'll be able to learn that today in today's presentation. And what questions to ask during your virtual meetup that will help you build stronger relationships and get referred into the jobs you want, both internal or external. Okay, so here's some interesting facts. 85% of positions are filled through networking, and it could be in various ways, whether, you get tapped in the shoulder and they'll say, hey, you know what, I want to bring you to my team. We used to work together. I like the way that you work. I want to bring you over now to my company. Or maybe you get a lot of awards, accolades, or achievements, or you're recognized as a subject matter expert. So there's many different ways that can happen, but some of the strategies I'll be sharing with you is how to get exposed to these opportunities and how to get in front of these people that can help you accelerate and advance in your career, and you can make leaps as opposed to, paying your dues and taking the long route to your next level. 95% of professionals consider face-to-face communication vital for long-term business. Even if you're, an analyst currently, or maybe a data scientist, a software engineer, or whatever that may be, when they say long-term business, and not just, whether you own a business or not, but it really means just overall in the industry, as a professional, you are the solution, you are the product or service. So consider yourself almost like a business where you want to make sure you get a lot of exposure and get connected to a lot of professionals and industries out there, especially thought leaders, because like I mentioned again, it's really going to make your career leap by 10x. What in comparison to your peers where they may be taking the longer route. Also, 38% of professionals find it difficult to maintain their business relationships. And that's because they are not consistent with networking. They are not asking the right things. They're not building the right connections. They're not asking the right way, the things that they should be asking for that will help them build strong networking relationships. And then 70% of people find a job through connections in a company, especially if you're looking for these fast sought after companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Peloton, whatever that may be. These are very competitive markets, especially within these companies. On average, for every one job posting, they get on average between 1,800 and 2,000 applicants. So it's important for you to have a connection to get referred to that would, again, almost create a acceleration or like a VIP access to you with job searching and not have to compete with so many other people. Even if you have the best resume, it is still very complicated because out of 2,000 applicants, they may only review 15 to 20 resumes at most. So it's important for you to not only have great marketing assets like resume, cover letter, LinkedIn profile, but that referral is really going to help you get to the front of the line, as if you were going to apply cold emailing or just cold through portals. It's a lot harder to get into these competitive jobs and companies. So here's some benefits of networking. I'm sure a lot of you have heard a lot of benefits, but I really want to detail some of the benefits because you may hear, build a network, your net worth is your network, but here's kind of some specifics of what are the true benefits of networking. So it makes you noticeable. Whether you're shy or barely starting your career, you can get a lot of exposure and make you noticed. And even if you're willing to learn, you're starting out, it's very important. And that's one of the benefits of networking lets you do. It lets you get noticed and promoted. It provides you with more opportunities. The more people know you, your background, what you've done, the projects that you've worked on, it also provides for more opportunities. Maybe they're looking to a department is looking for someone with your skill set, and because you already built that network, they might just tap you on your shoulder and say, hey, I'm looking for this role. Is this something you'd be interested? If so, let me know and send over your resume. We can get the process started. So you want to expose yourself to as many opportunities because you never know when they're going to come by, or it can, again, if it's an internal promotion, even better because it's not open externally, and it makes it easier for you to not only interview and apply, but also you're an easier employee because it's easier to onboard since you're already familiar with the company itself. It helps you reassess your qualifications. With networking, you might have conversations with a mentor, advisor, or just someone that, may be your equal counterpart or maybe one or two levels above. They might ask you, oh, by the way, I know the big thing right now is this certification. Have you thought about this? Or have you thought about this license? And all of a sudden you get exposed to these opportunities where you may not have known otherwise unless you have like a quick or a good pulse on the market and where is it going and what's happening. It also helps you improve your creative intellect. So you don't always have to know all the answers. Instead, tap into your network. Tap into people who are in roles that you're currently at and ask them, what are some of the projects you've worked on? What has been your biggest achievement to date at the company? What's an interesting project that you worked on and that you're most proud of? And that can give you a lot of ideas on how you can improve your job and get similar outcomes. And even like the step-by-step process. We don't have to, like I said, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just learn from another colleague, implement and execute, get the result, and keep doing it over and over again. Again, you don't have to be an expert, but speak to so many people that eventually you end up becoming the expert because you have so many outlets that you're learning from and you're able to implement, execute, and get those deliverable results that your company is looking for. It's an extra resource library, whether you have a question, a challenge, or you have some thoughts on maybe like why are things done a certain way. Tapping to that network can help you answer those questions. Sometimes not all the resources are internally within your department, or maybe you don't feel comfortable asking someone else or your boss, whatever those relationships are. Having that network, you can rely on them and ask them, I'm coming across this challenge and I've tried A, B, and C. Is there something else that I'm missing? Have you come across this issue? And if so, how did you solve it? Again, you don't have to become the expert, but tap into so many people and other experts out there, or just people in the field that eventually you will come to an answer at a faster rate than as if you were to do it alone. You get support from high profile individuals. When networking, especially if you're like 2-3 levels above that you're networking with, they can be in the room when you can't be. So when they're making decisions on who gets promoted, who should be in this role, who will be a great candidate, you want your name being mentioned. And of course, you're not always going to be able to be in the room when those decisions are made. to connect with people who are the decision makers and can help you mention your name. And again, make yourself noticeable, and it gets you the promotions and what you've been looking for. It's also growth in status. So the more you know your network, then the more valuable you become, because you have so much intellect and a network that you can tap into no matter what the problem is or the challenge, or the limited resources. You always have someone that you can connect to that can help you, come across whatever challenges come your way within your career, no matter what level it is. Growth and self-confidence. So when you're learning from other people and implementing it and you're getting results, it gives you confidence. All of a sudden, I brought some really great results to the company and I've learned from so much, and I know I can tap this and do it over and over and over again. Again, don't go through the pain of having to do everything yourself. Instead, rely on your league of advisors that you'll be building through your network that can, again, help you really accelerate your career. And then developing long-lasting relationships. The relationships may be building they may become your future boss, your future mentor. They can be your colleague or counterpart. Maybe they found an organization or an association. You never know where these relationships will take you, but it's important, again, to start at step one of building these networks, getting out there, reaching out. And even if you're an introvert, there's various ways that I'll show you on how you can take small steps to get you through where you want to go and how to build that network for you. So how do you brand yourself on LinkedIn to land you the jobs you want? Even if you just got a job and maybe you want to network in order to help you accelerate in your career, or maybe you're thinking 2-3 years ahead of saying, maybe you're a data analyst, but in 2 years you want to become a senior data analyst. Maybe you should start networking with senior data analysts to really understand what's going to really matter and what should you be focusing on currently as a data analyst that can help you get to that senior level role in a faster, rapid speed. So branding yourself the right way. And this is very important because I've seen a lot of people brand themselves the wrong way on LinkedIn. And I hear things like, I see people looking at my LinkedIn profile, but no one ever reaches out to me. Recruiters don't message me or ask me for interviews. Or no one even looks at my LinkedIn profile. That may be the case. Or you get interviews for jobs you don't want and you get very low offers. Maybe you find yourself in a situation while you're job searching. If any of these are true, that means there's something wrong with your branding. You're not branding yourself the right way. And, one of the things that I always tell clients is to think about your experience and background and how you want to be branded. And it helps if you include numbers, achievements, industries. If you worked for well-recognized companies that you've worked with, there's many various aspects that you can really stand out from the competition, especially in a saturated market, such as LinkedIn, when there are so many professionals with similar education experiences to you. So how can you stand out from them? And the next thing is, one thing I always say is brand yourself for the job you want, not for the job you currently have, especially if you're job searching and looking to move to the next step in your career. So one big mistake I've seen a lot of people do under LinkedIn is they don't use their headline appropriately. And they will say things like data analyst at Acme company. And that's their LinkedIn headline. And the problem is that everyone else is doing it. And as an HR person or recruiter, if I look up data analyst, I get a lot of profiles and they all look the same. And honestly, no one really stands out. So here's an example. Here's what everyone else is doing. So in this example, it's research assistant. I just looked up research assistant. I'm imagining that I am looking for talent as research assistants, and I pulled up LinkedIn, and here's what we get. Research assistant at Rush, research assistant at DePaul, research assistant at Northwestern, undergraduate research assistant at University of Illinois at Chicago. So if I was looking for a research assistant for academia, none of these people really stand out. There's not one person that I'm like, oh my God, I need to read more. I need to learn more about their background. Like they seem like a very great candidate. Let me see if it'd be a good fit. None of those profiles here really stand out. Now here's an example of what makes someone stand out. So for example, this person is in supply chain and global materials. So this is a headline that I worked with a client. And it's global materials and supply chain management leader with 12 years of experience and manages over $109 million in inventory. If I'm job searching and I see that title and we are a company with like a budget of 115 or let's just say 80 million, I know that this person can handle it because they can handle 109 million. It's not like I'm going to be interviewing somebody and they come out with, that they're only manage 100K in inventory. That to me is not going to go enough. So they're already qualified because I already know how much they manage and I know they can handle at least the business that I'm trying to represent or I'm hiring for. The fact that they have 12 years of experience already tells me that they're not starting out, is that they're already well seasoned and they're probably looking for a director position at this point or senior director, depending on how many levels there are within the company. And because they're global materials and supply chain management, maybe I'm only looking for supply chain management. I now know that this person can help with global markets if and when this company ever decides to go that route, or vice versa. And they can it also gives me an understanding that they can also manage global supply chain management. So depending if I work for a global company or a domestic company, again, it's a really great resource to have that I already know from this person without even having to look at their LinkedIn profile. That's how branding works. My client was looking for a global supply chain management role. They had the experience and they had the budget experience to manage such big projects. And now all of a sudden, once we branded for the job he wanted, now he's getting a lot of recruiters and hiring managers reaching out to him for job opportunities without even him having to apply. So, how to network effectively, even if you're not good at networking or don't have a network. So the most effective ways to use LinkedIn is, to network, job search, to hire someone if that's something that you're looking for, if you're doing company research, or you want to connect with future mentors, thought leaders, authors. And again, like I mentioned, even people that are maybe colleagues, maybe they work at a different organization or type of company similar to you. That could be a really great resource to tap into, seeing what do they do? What are some of the projects they work on? Maybe you realize you're probably doing the job of 2 to 3 people, and what comes with that is a salary increase. So you want to make sure you're pricing yourself accordingly to the market. And the only way to really know this is to really network with people and really learn the landscape. And you only do that by having conversations and asking the right questions. One thing about LinkedIn and networking is, people love helping other people, but you have to do it very intentional, and there's a particular and right way to do it. You have to be quick, detailed, and to the point. Do not use words like pick your brain. It's been overdone. And honestly, I don't know what you mean, pick my brain. Pick my brain about what? How long is that going to take? And have you done your research? Are you going to ask me questions that you can look up on Google? If that's the case, I don't feel like wasting my time. But if you're doing the right way, then I would love to help you. There's so many people out there that I love to help, that I've mentored, that I've done, given advice to. A lot of my clients have been able to get in contact and networks, even with like SVPs of Fortune 500 companies, where they're more than happy to help them. You want to do not leave the person wondering what you're going to be talking about. So don't just say, hi, can I pick your brain? I'm interested in a data analyst position. Like, what about it? Like an analyst position in my company within the same industry? I've never even been a data analyst before. Why are you reaching out to me? Like, what is the purpose? And also be specific about how much time you want or are asking for. A lot of times when I see people reach out to me, they'll say, hey, can I pick your brain? Hey, Claudia, my name is, Jane Joe. I was wondering, I looked at your profile. It's really impressive. Do you have some time this week so I can pick your brain? Pick my brain about what? Is it about my graduate program that I went to? Are you trying to pick my brain about starting a career coaching business? Are you trying to pick my brain because you're a job searcher and you need help with job searching? Are you trying to pick my brain because you want me to do a workshop? I mean, there's so many things that come to mind that I don't know what they're asking for, so I don't even know how to respond. And honestly, I don't want to go back and forth. So if I were to get an email like this, I would just file it away and I'll say, I'll reach out later, which means I will never get back to it and will never respond. So you don't want your emails to go, to that pile. So again, you want to be very intentional. You do not want to make the person work too much that you're asking a favor from. One big mistake that I've seen is, let's just say I need help job searching. My name is Jane Doe and I want a data analyst role. I am not going to reach out to a person saying, again, like pick your brain. Let's just say the person is kind enough to say, Jane Doe, I would love to speak with you. Let me know like what time works best for you. And then I'll say, well, my schedule is this, like I'm only available Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. or I'm available Tuesdays. And that person is going back to their calendar saying, do I have available Tuesday? And let's just say you finally, after a few back and forth emails, you find on a date and who's calling who. You want to make it so easy for that person to help you. It should be you saying, hi, hi, John Doe. I'm interested in this data analyst role. I noticed that you were a data analyst before for 3 years, specifically within a SaaS technology company. That's something I'm really interested in moving towards. I have some availability Thursday and Friday between the hours of 12 to 5 p.m. And I also, let me know if any of these times work for you. I'd also be happy to work around your schedule. And I can also send you a calendar invite. Just please send me over your phone number and email address. For reference, here's my phone number and email address if that's easier. I look forward to speaking with you, and I'll also send you, my questions in advance so you have time to review. You see how easy I'm making it this person? If none of those times work for me, I can feel and say, hey, Jane Doe, actually none of those times work for me Thursday, Friday, but I'm available Monday at 2 p.m. Here's my phone number and email address. I look forward to speaking with you, and thanks again for sending me those questions in advance. Make it easy for them to help you. Offer easy alternatives. Like I said, if this doesn't work for you, I'd be happy to work around your schedule. If you're meeting in person, you pick the location, probably something closest to their office if you know where they live, if you know where they work and they're coming into the office, or after COVID and everything's open again, and if that becomes the norm, you want, again, make it easier for them. Or it could be, maybe they work from home and they want to meet for coffee. Well, let me know, what area you're in, whether it's a suburb or town or a neighborhood, and I'd be happy to find a Starbucks nearby so we can both meet. I'll add the meetup location in the calendar invite. Again, you don't want them to do the work. You should be doing the work. It makes it easier for people to say yes and to help you. And then show them that you did your research and don't ask for generic questions. Don't ask questions like, what are some of the requirements to become a data analyst? You can just look at a job posting and look at the requirements section. Don't ask questions like, do I need a master's degree? Do I need a doctor's license to become a doctor? You probably do, and you most definitely do, so don't ask that question. That's something you can Google. Ask questions that are truly you can't find on Google. For example, what is the hardest skill to hire for someone in a data analyst role, specifically within the SaaS technology industry? What is the hardest skill to hire for? What do you find currently missing within the market at this point? Since you manage so many data analysts, what do you think, or where do you think the market is going? And what are going to be some really useful skill sets and certification that's really going to help candidates dominate while they're interviewing? So things like that. Or what are the biggest challenges, or what departments does your department struggle with the most and why? So asking those questions it's not something that you can find on Google. These are true questions that need conversation, and it's more in depth as opposed to asking yes and no questions or questions that could easily be Googled. So here's a script on how you can request to connect with someone on LinkedIn. So I added 3 different versions that I've had my clients use and have been very successful. Usually out of 10 people you reach out to, 6 will respond. And there's many reasons why people don't respond. It could be like they're just not on LinkedIn that often. Personally, my husband's probably on LinkedIn once a quarter. So if you were to reach out to someone like him, he probably wouldn't respond to about, depending where you grab him in his cycle, it probably won't be until like another 2.5 months. Another person might be, you asked too general. Let's just say you didn't use my script. Maybe you said something too general, or they just feel like they're going to get spammed, or you didn't send even a note. They're probably not going to respond because I don't know you and I don't know why I want to connect with you yet. It could also be that they were just so busy and distracted. Maybe they have kids, especially with distance learning, having the kids at home, working from home. And there's just so many distractions that they might have been reading it and they've been really interested in helping you, but something came up, somebody called them, somebody pinged them on the chat, and now they had to solve a problem and they just forgot about it and got distracted. But here are the different types of scripts that you can send when you want to connect on someone with LinkedIn. Hi, Jane. I was looking at your profile. I see you have a background in data science and machine learning. I love to connect and learn more about your career and gain some insights into the industry overall about, maybe AI in marketing. Or, hi, Jane, I was looking at your profile. I see that you're a fellow alumni of blank university, or you're part of this org, or you volunteered at this organization. I also noticed we have some other similar interests. We'd love to connect to learn more about your career and experience at Google company or at Facebook. Or, hi, Jane, it was nice meeting you at this workshop event or the Data for Good DataCon LA event. I enjoyed talking to you about, or I enjoyed really listening to your talk about job searching tips. Let's be sure to stay in touch, and thanks again for the presentation. These are quick ways that it doesn't sound like generic, like, hi, I would love to add you to my network. Like, I don't know why you're reaching out to me. I don't know if I don't know if you're going to spam me once I connect with you. So be specific, be personal. It only takes a few minutes to look at someone's LinkedIn profile. And if you truly don't have like organization, a university, or a workshop, use the top one. Hey, I noticed that you used to be a data analyst and now you're working as a director of data analyst, and you used to work at Pepsi, and now you change industries from CPG or consumer price goods to fintech. I'm interested in doing the same, and I actually worked at a company similar to Pepsi. I would love to learn more about your career and gain some industry insights. Again, that's very specific to the person, but you have to look at their LinkedIn profile in order to be able to get this information. So once you connect with someone, this is the email you'll send out to reach out and ask for a meeting request. Hi, Jane. My name is Claudia, and I was browsing through LinkedIn and came across your LinkedIn profile. I hope you don't mind that I'm reaching out. I saw that you used to work as a data analyst, and you were able to successfully pivot into the SaaS technology industry at Salesforce. I would love to have the opportunity to ask you some questions and seek any advice you may have, given your knowledge of the industry. I currently work as a data analyst intern for a healthcare company overseeing, and I just added this example, a $40 million account. Or I work for a company that generates over $500 million in annual revenue. This is public information. If you don't know how much your company generates in annual revenue, just look up your company name and then add annual revenue. So for example, Acme annual revenue. If I Google that, it will give me the company's annual revenue for the year. So you can use that as a good hook. And again, this is helpful because I'm being specific on why I'm reaching out to this person. I'm not telling you I'm picking their brain. I'm saying, I noticed that you used to work on this industry. Now you're working for this company. I want to know more. I want to know more, and I want to ask questions specifically how you were able to make that pivot and specific questions towards that industry. I'm not wondering why this person is reaching out. I know exactly why they're reaching out, and I realize that they did their research. I know your time is extremely valuable, but I would appreciate if we can have a discussion for about 15 to 20 minutes. Again, I'm giving a specific time frame. If so, I'm free Monday, January 7th or Friday, January 11th. If those times don't work, I'd be happy to work around your schedule. Again, I'm trying to make it easy for them, for this person to say yes or no. Thanks in advance, Claude. I understand you're busy, so I'm happy to email you your question if that's more convenient. Thanks again. So again, you see how easy that is. It's to the point. It's clear. I clearly did my research on this person. I'm very intentional. I'm not asking them to pick their brain and they're unsure what. You know exactly why I'm reaching out to this person. So what if you don't hear back from LinkedIn? Like I mentioned, there's many reasons why, but here's some quick ways that you can follow up with someone. Hi, Jane, wanted to float this message at the top of your inbox. My updated availability is, let's just say that time frame passed. Give them your new availability. Maybe they wanted to respond to you and they got distracted and now the week passed and now they don't know how to respond because your availability may have changed. So feel free to say that. If there's still no answer, there's different tools and resources you can use. Now this would be like messaging on LinkedIn, but let's just say if they don't respond, you probably don't see a lot of activity on the LinkedIn, they're not really active, then I will look for their email through different sources. I use Voila Norbert. If you don't like that or can't use it for whatever reason, just look up Email Finder. There's some free resources and tools where you can type the person's name, where they work at, and it'll give you some examples of what may be their email address. And then you can also download something free called Hunter.io, where it's an email tracker. It tells you if that person's opened your email, and if so, how many times and at what time. If they don't open their emails, probably because you have the wrong email address or that person left for whatever reason, or they're on vacation. And if they do open it, especially if they open it multiple times, that means that they keep opening and reading your email, but there's something that's stopping them. Either they're getting distracted or they're still a little bit vague about what you're asking them. So if you see them opening your email a lot, that's a perfect time to follow up and say, hi, Jane, wanted to float this message to the top of your inbox. My availability is, let me know if you have any additional questions. And I look forward to the opportunity of potentially speaking with you. So now let's just say you reached out, you connected with them on LinkedIn, you've done their research, you set up a meeting request with them. So now what? So what questions do you ask during a virtual meetup that will help you build stronger relationships and get referred into the jobs you want? So here's some questions that serve different purposes. Let's just say, for example, you're looking to gain a high level understanding of the industry. What publications and websites or blogs and books do you read? Who are the big thought leaders in the industry? What are the main types of data science or data analyst or business analyst? And for example, this is an example for direct response copywriting, but you can say, I read about different types of data analysis. Some of them are dashboards, some of them are data mining, some of them need SQL. Can you tell me a little bit more about the differences and specifically how your company works, or what do they expect from a typical data analyst? And whether you really like the job. Why did you choose this industry over others? I see that you pivoted from CPG or e-commerce to fintech. Can you tell me a reason why? What made you interested? Here are 5 firms I'm interested. Do you know them? And if so, what are your impressions of them? It seems like management consultants consistently change components when moving up in rank. Again, this is like very different types of exercises depending on the types of roles, but it gives you really good insight on whether you're qualified for the job. In most of the jobs I've seen, 3 to 5 years seems to be the expected amount of experience for an associate level project manager. I only have 2 years of experience. How important is that requirement? And how would you approach jobs if I were to apply to them? I'm actually interested in doing a lateral shift, going from research assistant from this department into this department. Obviously, that's a big change, but do have some experience in my last job doing X, Y, and Z. Do you think that experience would be directly applicable to this new position? Again, you're being very intentional and specific, and that's not something you can really Google. Other types of questions you can ask is on maximizing your chances of getting noticed, interviewed, and hired. Besides knowing SQL and database management, what makes a candidate really stand out to the hiring manager for a data analyst role? What is the hardest thing about hiring for this position? For example, how would you finish the sentence? Wow, it's really hard these days to find a data analyst who can really do blank. Again, it's hard to find in Google, but it's very specific and it opens up the person to talk a little bit more about what they look for when they're looking to hire or what they did when they were, looking to get a senior data analyst role. It's giving you more insights into the industry, the role itself, the company, the industry, because a data analyst can be very different from like a technology industry to like a healthcare industry. And then on next steps, once you've had a conversation with them, on one hand, I'm interested in pursuing X, but I'm thinking it might be more sense to do Y. What do you think? Or maybe given everything we talked about, what are the companies you think I should be looking at? Are there other people you think I should be talking to? You're definitely more plugged in than I am. I would really appreciate the suggestions you have. So that's just a really quick, like I said, how to network from home, how to get noticed and promoted, or if you're job searching. A lot of these tactics and strategies and scripts that I share with you can be used in many different ways. I actually use it to connect with some of my favorite authors, especially when I finish reading their books. And like I said, 6 out of 10 authors actually do respond back to me. But you can use it to connect with people that are similar roles as you, that are maybe 1 step above you, 2 steps above you, maybe someone that's in a hiring position. And you want to tap into their insights, but you don't feel necessarily comfortable with your boss. Perfect way. Just network with them, ask questions, really get to know and get a good pulse of the industry and where it's going, how you can stand out. And that's going to give you leverage. You will become one of the sought after candidates during the interview process. And if you're internally, it's going to get you noticed and promoted at a faster rate that you would even think about. And you're going to see your career really progress at a faster rate. If you want to learn a little bit more about me, like I said, my website, you can go to claudiatmiller.com. I also have a free Facebook group where you can join. And I hold weekly trainings there on job searching. So whether it's how to create a really great resume that stands out and gets you interviews, how to ace the interview, how to do it comfortably, how to take control during the interview, how to, job search if you're a career change, or maybe you've been out of work for a while. Wherever you are in your career or in your job searching process, I do a lot of these free weekly trainings on my Facebook group that you can all join in. And again, if you have any questions or if this is really useful and you used it, I want to hear from you. So reach out to me at support@claudiatmiller.com. And I look forward to hearing from you.